Mexican food is a staple of many societies. Here in America, often say, let's go out for a Mexican food tonight. In Mexico, however, it's much more than just going out to eat. It is a daily tradition for families to gather around the table and enjoy home cooked meals served with a fresh homemade salsa made in a molcajete. Good afternoon, everyone. I have a question for you all. What if I told you that this molcajete has been around for over 2,000 years? Most people will look at this and think just a heavy stone bowl. But in Mexican culture, it represents history, family tradition, and our culinary heritage. In fact, traditional Mexican cuisine has been recognized by UNESCO as part of the intangible culture heritage of humanity. But today I am going to explain what a molcajete is, its history, and why people still use it. Before I begin, I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Mexico, moved to America in 2008, and went to school to learn the language. Shortly after, I got married. I have 4 children. I have 2 dogs. I work part-time and go to school part-time. I live in the United States, but I can never give up my molcajete. I love making fresh salsa and grinding my spices whenever I have time. Of course, some days I have to use my blender because life gets busy and it's much faster. But whenever I can, I go back to use the molcajete. So exactly what is a molcajete? A molcajete is a traditional mortar made of a volcano rock. The stone used to grind the ingredients is called el tejolote. Unlike a blender, which cuts with metal blades, the molcajete slowly crushes ingredients against raw volcanic stone. This particular molcajete weighs about 10 pounds. According to the Smithsonian Institute, the molcajete has a long history in Mesoamerica, where people have used this kitchen tool for thousands of years, and many families continue to use it today. Now that we know what a molcajete is, let's look at why it remains such an important part of Mexican culture. For many families, a molcajete is much more than just another kitchen tool. It represents family tradition. For example, recipes that are passed down from grandparents to parents, and then from parents to their children. In many families, the molcajete itself is passed down through generations. These things can last a very long time. I would like to share a little bit of my background. I grew up in a small town in Mexico. I remember when I was very young, our blender broke and we did not have a blender for about a week. So I remember seeing my mom and my sisters working very hard to grind tomatoes, onions, garlic, spices, herbs, to be able to cook our meals. So this experience showed me that even without electricity, families can still prepare delicious homemade food using a traditional method. Another memory that it means a lot to me It happened a few years back when I visited my father for his birthday. Most of the family got together and we were cooking a feast for him. Um, Many of my relatives, sisters-in-law, nieces, we all were cooking and helping each other, cooking food and salsas and baking and all of that. When I just turned around and looked at my daughter and she was grinding some fresh salsa for everybody, I was happy. It was pretty exciting to see that she had just learned by watching me do it, because nobody told her what to do or how to do it. She was just grinding it. I also printed a picture of her and see how she's using the molcajete. According to the National Museum of American Indian, stone grinding stools like the molcajete were essential to indigenous communities through Mesoamerica long before the Europeans arrived. So why someone spend several minutes grinding vegetables in a molcajete when a blender can do it in 30 seconds or so? The answer is simple. It changes the flavor, it changes the texture, and it's just amazing. Instead of just doing it in a blender, go for a molcajete. Today we learn about the molcajete is explore its history and discuss why it continues to be an important part of Mexican culture. We also saw how this simple kitchen tool was part of my own life and my family tradition. Next time that you go to a restaurant, I invite you to take a good guess and just think about how they make your salsa. If it was fresh out of a molcajete or fresh out of a blender, you will be able to tell. Thanks for listening. That's all I have for you.